enjoying what's going on, because we are. I love participation, I love, other people answering questions, because then I don't have to. So this is fabulous. Go ahead, Chris.
So, thank you. But you guys, a few of you had the courage to step up here and play out a role. Very much appreciated. You guys knocked it out of the park. I'm going to give you a little token of our appreciation. Daniel, roll 9.
Yay!
Almost like roll by that.
And yours,
Heather's right here.
left, she's asked.
No, she just kept on.
Well, she didn't do
Right back
anything
like
anyway.
that.
We'll make sure she gets
I'll take it. So remember the, your name tags, the foods are a hot ticket item, right? So you will have a chance. Okay, so we're gonna roll into mindset and the different types of mindsets, how we tie this into an agile mindset. So lots of fun stuff over the next 15 minutes. Am I selling you? Yes. So, mindset. Set of beliefs or way of thinking that determine what behavior, outlook, and mental attitude. Okay? So I read, and we'll get into this, I read a book, Mindset, like a year or so ago, and Chris is sick of me talking about it, but it changed the way I talk to my children, changed the way I talk to myself, the things I say, my actions, and so this is a wonderful thing, so I'm pretty excited. So what you're going to do first, you all have a mindset checkup, okay? So we're going to take a few minutes, this is just an individual activity, be honest, this is a point in time, say this is who you are today. So be honest, you're going to fill out or answer the questions. You're going to total column, the left column, you're going to total the right column, and then you're going to add them together, and then we'll talk about what that means.
And then we'll submit it to your supervisor. No. Yes, kidding. These are yours to keep.
We got done. I'll just note, this came from trainupy.com. Trevor Reagan owns that company, we're a partner in that company. Great information, great stuff. He's got a blog that I subscribe to. And so he's very passionate about mindset, what it means. Okay. So if you flip your paper over, which I see some of you have done, this is what your score means. Now again, this is just a moment in time. This is where you are today. There's no right or wrong. So we're just going to walk through this a little bit, what these scores mean, what they're telling us. Okay? So So 8 through 16, you believe that talent, skills, and abilities are set traits. Okay, you're born with this. They can't be changed. If you know that you might fail, you're not going to try. Okay, so if there's a possibility that you won't be successful, you're not going to do it. 17 through 24, again, you believe that skills and intelligence don't change much. Like situations when you know you will be successful, and you like situations when you know you'll be successful, and you don't want to apply much effort. Okay, so tasks, repeatable things you can do over and over. 25 through 32. Grades, this is where we start to shift a little bit. Grades and performances are important to you, but so is learning. Right, so learning is now more a part of this. It's not just that innate ability. We now start to look at learning and what that means. 33 through 40. You believe that you can develop skills and intelligence. Learning is more important than always performing well. It's a big step, right? 41 through 48. You believe that you can grow and improve skills and intelligence. You love challenges and know the best way to learn is by working hard. You don't mind making mistakes to get better. Okay? So looking at this, does this kind of, do you feel like you may, I don't want you to share, but do you feel like you may be in the right kind of zone for what the description is? So, this is the book I read by Dr. Carol Dweck. She's a psychology professor at Stanford. And if you dig in, you go to you do a web search and you search mindset, you dig in, it's all based on her stuff essentially. People are just building on it. But it's essentially her stuff. It's a quick read, and it's, I honestly, it changed how I look at things. It gave me a pretty decent awareness that I didn't know I was missing. So her definitions. In a fixed mindset, students believe their basic abilities, their intelligence, their talents are just fixed traits, right? You're born with what you have done, okay? They have a certain amount and that's that. And then their goal becomes to look smart all the time and never look dumb. So you're not willing to take risks, you're not willing to fail because you may look, I don't want to use the word dumb, but you won't look the smartest in the room, right? You don't look clever to everybody. The growth mindset. Students understand that their talents and abilities can be developed through effort, good teaching, and persistence. They don't necessarily think anyone's the same or anyone can be Einstein, but they believe everyone can get smarter if they work at it. Okay? So, my mom just had her 50th high school reunion in a small town in Meeker, small town, Western Slope. So I went to a lunch with her, and a woman came up and she was just like, yeah, so my small town, my mom graduated with a cousin or two, right? And so we were sitting next to my mom's cousin, and this woman came up and she's like, yeah, she said, well, Leila, when you came to town, it was Charlie and I, we were number 1 and 2, and then you came to town, and then it was you and Charlie. Okay, this was like 6th grade, and she's still holding on to it, right? So I thought about this right away going, whoa, fixed mindset. You know that you're still focusing on something from elementary school, right? 50-year high school reunion. Anyways. So have you ever heard this, or even said this at one point in time? Some people are just good at math. You're very smart. This is too hard. I will never be that smart. You're such a good artist. Right? Has anyone said this or heard this? Huh? Right? So these sayings, these are all things that foster that fixed mindset. That this is the way it is, that she's smart or I'm not smart. Done. End of story. Right? They create the idea that effort it's not worth it, right? Some people are just good at math. I'm not good at math, I'm not even gonna try. Right? We've all heard this stuff. Intelligence is static. I must look clever. So people who are in this side of the spectrum may avoid challenges. May give up easily due to obstacles, right? I quit. This will never work, right? It may start making excuses. See, effort is a waste of time. We talked about this one this morning. Be threatened by other successes, right? May plateau early and achieve less than their full potential. Okay? So these guys are reluctant to take on challenges. They believe that talent alone creates success. Prefer to stay in my comfort zone. I don't want to go over here. I don't know this, right? I don't know this. I like to stay over here. This I know. Fearful of making mistakes. So that's the fix. So let's look at this, right? So let's say or do this instead. I can tell you work very hard at this. Mistakes help me improve. I can always improve, so I'll keep trying. Right? So see a difference between the sets of sayings? This is focusing on effort. This is, failure's okay, mistakes are okay. You know, I'll put the caveat, you keep making the same mistake, that's not okay. Right? But you make a mistake and you learn from it and you move on. It's okay. Now Dr. Dweck is talking about, it's okay to say, I can't do it yet. I'm not good at math yet. I can't draw yet. Right? So adding that in as well. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, and maybe this is just, I don't want to coin the term, but my mindset is some of these sound almost derogatory. Wow, you worked really hard at that, you know, like implying that, I don't know. And
Well, right, it's focusing on the effort. Right? So I say it to my 4-year-old. Right? There's a little climbing wall at the playground. And it took her, well, last summer, this summer she conquered the climbing wall, right? So I praised her on her effort. She didn't give up. She kept doing it. She kept trying, right? So that's where that's coming from, is understanding and praising on that effort, rather than saying, you know, well, guess you just won't be a climber. We'll work on something else.
Okay.
So.
You know, I can get that if you're talking about your child, but at this point in my life, I need to acknowledge my shortcomings. I'm not good at math. And I think there's something to be said for being honest with yourself.
Absolutely.
To know that's not my wheelhouse, that's not my strength.
Right.
I'm gonna focus over here.
Is it your drive to be good at math? Exactly. Right? So that's part of it.
So
Right.
acknowledging that.
So acknowledging
Acknowledge
that.
as well. And I'm not gonna focus on it.
Exactly, but understanding that if it was something that you aspired to do, you wanted to be an accountant or, I don't know, go into science, then you would put forth the effort to be better at math.
I have great resources.
That's
I know you
Yeah.
find the right people.
I wanted to go back to
Yeah.
what she said, something that came to mind, kind of floated away what she said. I have this message in my head rolling around from years of, corporation, managers and whatever, that, we don't reward you for effort, we reward you for
Results.
results. So I kind of had that just sort of popped in my mind when the result.
Yeah, I mean, and Robert said something over lunch. Failure's not an option, right? Same kind of thing. Bad cliches that need to go away. It's really what those are.
So we're changing our mindset in our management style to reward the effort that eventually you do conquer this task.
Well, and it may be little things, right? So I know people's worlds got shook up a year and a half ago, right? And people got tossed into teams and doing different things. But again, it's all about having that mindset, the agile mindset of saying, hey, this is what I can do, or this is, I'm not interested in this, but showing some effort, absolutely. And then having the courage to ask for help. Right? Not spinning your wheels for 3 weeks.
But if you're,
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we are a performance-based organisation, but if somebody's got a fixed mindset, oh, I'm not good at this, I'm not going to try, they're not even trying to do it. There's no way they're going to get a bonus or pay increase of that thing. They're not even trying, but at least if they try.
Well, and you don't have to be awesome at it, right? I mean, it goes to, what happens at the end of every sprint? Are we crunched for QA? Right? So I may not be a QAer, and I'm not, but I'll help. How can I help? Right? It's having the mindset to that behavior, what we've been talking about all day.
I can see how that applies in the business world, but I mean, to some extent, you do have certain talents. Like, I am not going to be a great artist, if that makes me sound like I have a fixed mindset, I'm always up to learning new things. I believe, I'm not sure that you can increase your intelligence, but you can always increase your knowledge. So it's kind of weird to me but there's certain things like I just can't be an artist. I mean, my mother-in-law was a phenomenal artist, and she tried to teach me, and I tried really hard. And I'll be honest with you, it didn't, what ended up on the piece of paper was not what I saw coming out of my brain. And so, and it wasn't a technique, it was just, there was a disconnect there,
Maybe
so.
you need to drink wine.
I tried wine, I tried whiskey, I tried beer. Jackie did it.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's
Well,
beautiful.
I agree.
No,
And I'm saying,
and I agree. Chris and I just had this conversation yesterday, right? And so Chris equates everything to sports.
Not everything, but
Well,
lots of things.
Lots of things. And so Chris will not, unless you want to say it, 'cause I don't want to.
Well, I mean, you can use any analogy, right, where, you know, if had I aspired to be an NFL star, I mean, let's face it, guys, I'm not equipped for it, right? I am not going to play in the NFL ever. I'm just not built for it. I don't have that. So at some point in my life, I had to say, well, I was okay at football, but my size just didn't match playing beyond whatever level that I played at, or basketball, or whatever sport you want to play at. You gravitate towards what you're really good at, and you get really passionate about those things. You know, could I have lifted weights and built some bulk? Probably, but we can just have a conversation about how much I love the gym. So I know it's not obvious, but I don't really like the gym. But you know, you're going to gravitate towards those things. And there are some skills, you know, whether it's math and things of that nature, or maybe it's programming. You can learn these things. Are you going to be the best programmer ever? Maybe, maybe not. But if you have no desire, you never will. I can guarantee you that. And so, putting in the effort, learning, building these skills, maybe you could become at least marginally decent, right? And if you equate that to teams, for example, in how we ask for cross-functional team members and saying, hey, where can I pitch in to help? If I'm a developer, well, gosh, if with some guidance, having never QA'd, I'm quite certain someone with some guidance can point me in the right direction, and I can walk through some scripts, and I can generate. Now, I might not know what they all mean, which is why I need the guidance, but at least I can help in that regard. Am I going to be the best tester ever? No, because I don't have that desire to be, right? But I can learn enough skills to become, you know, put the effort in to become good enough to assist my team when in need. Does that help? Make sense?
I think when people hear you work very hard, they think of it as participation.
Yeah.
And I think that's not what this is saying. If you work very hard, you ask for help, you got it done, you know, that's the thing to reward. It's not just, well, I tried and it didn't.
Right. And my guess is it's not going to be, you work very hard, period, and walk away. Right? So,
And going to the math thing, right? You know, you could work very hard at it, but I mean, I watch my son, he does math, and he's going through the motions. He's not gonna be in a good position. He's pretty good at it, and he works really hard at it. But at some point, he's gonna go, probably not going there. And so it's that awareness and that recognition. But absolutely, I reward him for, you know, gosh, you gotta put in that effort, because that's what's required, at least right now. But let's find the things that you are awesome at. But I'm not saying, you suck at math. That's a horrible message to send, right? Was that one up there, you suck at math?
That was on the last slide.
Was that
right,
okay?
like I said, Chris. It wasn't
I do have a
my
badge that says the math whisperer, just so you know. Anybody, there's a couple of you in there that know.
So that slide was growth mindset. Okay. So I want to learn more. Knowledge, intelligence is expandable. Embracing challenges, right? The leadership stuff, right? Embrace the change. Embrace challenges. Sees effort as the way. It says learns from criticism. I don't like the word criticism, but learns from feedback. And you find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. You find inspiration in, because other people have succeeded. Wow, I can do that too. Reach ever higher levels of achievement. Now I've got a fun video. I like videos. See if I can find it. It's the Mickey Mouse. Bear with me.
We'll never get it out now. Always bring your word to next week. Master moving stones around is one thing. This is totally different.
No, you're no different. Only different in your mind. The rest I'm there. I'll be up there.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No. Try not. Do. Or do not. There is no try.
All right. Which one? Which movie?
The Brightside Flash one.
Oh.
I didn't know there was a prize.
Star Wars. Yes, I love Star Wars. Yoda has some powerful things to say. You can learn from Yoda. So, you doing things coming back?
That's a good word, Chris.
It was good, but I don't know. So, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. So we have success, we have frustration, grit, and learn helplessness. So looking at, I can learn anything I want to. I'm either good at it or I'm not. This is just a comparison chart, kind of what we've just been talking about. I like being told that I try hard. I like being told that I'm smart. Okay? If my classmates succeed, I am inspired. If my classmates succeed, I feel threatened. Right? There's I want to look at this one lastly. When I fail, I learn. When I fail, I'm no good. Okay? So let's take a look at some famous failures. It's going to be tough to read, so I'll help you guys out. Michael Jordan. Who knows the story of Michael Jordan? know.
He's like, he didn't make the varsity team, that's the problem, that's the, he didn't make the varsity, he still made
Well, either way.
What?
So he didn't make his high school varsity team, he went home and cried. Did that define Michael Jordan? Right? No, no. He still went on to be arguably the best basketball player that ever played. Walt Disney, you know the story of Walt Disney?
He went bankrupt a couple of times, he was actually homeless
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that, but I do know he was actually fired for not being imaginative enough. Right? That went on driving us. Probably from being homeless because he didn't have a job. Steve Jobs. Got fired from his own corporation. And that defined him because we never heard of him again. The Beatles. So they were told that they didn't have a good sound and then they'll never make it in this business. Well, that's a face palm, right? Exactly. Albert Einstein. Who knows about Albert Einstein? Well, this is young. Yeah, well, he wasn't able to speak until he was 4. He was told that he'll never amount to anything. Right? Again, that defined him. See, again, he slipped off into the shadows. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new. How real is that?
What about Oprah? You gotta tell us about Oprah. Can't leave us hanging.
Oh, Oprah Winfrey. Oh. I'm not a fan of her. Those are the skip over down. She was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't fit for television. Right? Now she owns her own network, right? And I would love to say you get a car and you get a car and you get a car. I can say you get a notebook and you get a notebook. I can do that. So here's some famous failures, right? There's hundreds of these out there. These are ones that are very well known. Did it define people? No. Well, it defined them, yes, but they took it and it helped define them. Say, you know what? Screw you. Here I go. So now what? You always have the opportunity to grow and learn, right? It's like what Chris just said. If you have the desire, and it's there, you can move from fixed to growth. You can change how you react to feedback, how you receive and provide praise, how you may look at a challenge, how you react to failure. Dedicate yourself, persist, right? These are all things. You can change these things. Goes with the theme is behaviors. It's changes in these behaviors and their practice. I have this up because it helps me focus on what I should think or what I should say instead of what may be floating through my mind or come out of my mouth, right? So instead of, I'm not good at this, try thinking, what am I missing? What do I need? What can help me? Instead of, I'm awesome at this, frankly I am, but I have to remind myself to say, hey, I'm on the right track, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I can get even awesomer. I give up. I'm done. I'll use some of the strategies we've learned, right, and apply them. I'll ask questions. This is too hard. Well, this may take some time and effort. That's okay. goes to behaviors, right? Being transparent, being honest, providing visibility. It may take some time and effort. We'll get there. Here you go. Okay, I just can't do math. I'm gonna train my brain in math. If you wanted to, like, you could. All right, so, does this make sense? I like, again, I have this up because it helps me. I like things visible and in my face, as reminders. Other things that can help with mindset. We can establish values. What's important to us? What's our belief? Right? So whether at home, work, classroom, doesn't matter what's important to me, what's important to you, what's important to us as the collective whole. So again, I took these from Train Ugly. We value process, dedication, growth, and learning, not genius, talent, height, speed, etc. We expect you to stretch beyond your comfort zone and take reasonable risks. Not to play it safe, do the same thing you're good at over and over and stay in your comfort zone. We don't expect that you arrive here fully formed. There's more work to do. We expect that you arrive here ready to learn. We value and reward process. We reward taking on big but reasonable challenges and reward pursuing them relentlessly. We reward teamwork. How cool would this be to have up with your team? Right? Not me just being cheery. I think this actually would be great to have up with your team. What's your values? As a team, what do you value? As an individual, what do you value? Right? What are you going to work towards? We can also focus on feedback. Right? That was part of the growth mindset, right? As well as the face is based on how you give and receive feedback. So here's interesting. Nearly half the feedback people hear comes from their peers. Uh-oh. That's here. That's in the office. So how can we help? We can train, we can educate, provide constructive, not destructive feedback. Feedback that's specific, it's helpful, it's kind, right? It's having respect. That impact feedback, we've talked about it a little bit. So it's based on the person who's impacted. Use I statements. Vulnerability. Goes to the toxins, create that opening for conversation rather than coming in with a harsh startup. Focus on how we might start that conversation. And create a culture for learning. Celebrate mistakes. Again, with the caveat, you keep making the same mistake, there's no learning going on. We're staying the same. But peer feedback is good. I worked in a company and that's what we did. We partnered up for a sprint. And I would work with the same person all sprint long, and we would just do peer reviews back and forth.
I have a question about celebrating mistakes. How do you do that? And why would you?
So, glad you brought that up. So we're going to talk about the celebration grid, and that might help a little bit. Excuse me. So celebration grid. Okay. So here's where you might celebrate mistakes. Not here, because you got lucky. Do that. But here along the top is behavior, along this side is outcomes, and then along the bottom shows where there's learning, right? So this is where you start celebrating mistakes, is where there's most learning, okay? So when you have experiments, yay, you succeeded and you learned, these experiments move into practices, right? Because if it's proven, you can now move it into a practice that you can do over and over again, in theory, right? If it becomes repeatable. Okay, you failed, but you learned, right? So this is where you would celebrate those mistakes, going, hey, that didn't work, but what I learned is we can actually try this. Let's see if that works. Over here, this is where I keep talking about, you don't want to keep celebrating the same mistakes over and over again, because that says WTF. Dude, you screwed up, where's your brain? Right? That's repeating those same mistakes over and over again and expecting a different result. It's not gonna happen. And then these little guys over here, this is your proven practices. You maybe fat fingered something. That's all. You know, no big deal. But this is what we want to focus on right here, these experiments. Does that help, Nancy? Where you would celebrate those mistakes. Okay? And how mistakes that you succeed at move into practices that you made, then include in your teams as something you do on a regular basis if it's repeatable. Does this make sense, guys? And how that fits into mindset and that failure is okay? And experiments, Chris talked about experiments. There it is. We talked about experiments this morning with servant leadership. Like we want to be running experiments. We want to have some innovation. We want to have creativity. We want to try some different things. Just because the same things have been done like this for the last 20 years doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it wrong, but maybe we can look at it. So the agile mindset. So this came out of an article. I recommend this article to anybody. The key missing ingredient in the Agile Manifesto. So about being agile and not just agile. So this is tough to see up here. Okay. So you start with here, agile is mindset, which is described by the 4 values, that's defined by 12 principles, and that is manifested through unlimited number of practices. Okay, so the mindset is the first thing, because if you don't have, it's easy. We know the framework. We know the Scrum framework. We know that Agile itself has 4 values and 12 principles. But if you don't have that mindset to change that behavior, none of that stuff matters. None of it matters. Okay, it's time to change our thinking, not our process. You change your mindset, this stuff comes organically. Your processes happen organically after that. You embrace change. The way you talk,